This week we're working on the Constitution. We're going to start with the KWL chart. Make sure this goes in your social studies notebook. So open up the next page after your Constitution vocabulary, and that's where we're working on. What do we know about the U.S. Constitution? You've done some research this week. You should have looked it up. So everyone here should know what the Constitution is. What is it, Guadalupe?
The Constitution is some laws written. It was made from the founding fathers about the laws.
Founding fathers wrote it. Good. That's a good start. It was written by the founding fathers. And you're writing this too. Make sure this goes in your notebook. This right here is Mission 2. Mission 1 was your vocabulary. Mission 2 is your KWL chart. Written by the founding fathers. What else do we know? Bryson? Good. That is exactly right. The colonists were afraid that one person might take over again. They had just earned their freedom from the king, so they wanted to ensure that no single branch of the U.S. government would have power over the others. So it ensures that no single branch of the government has power over the others. What else do we know? What else do we know? Guadalupe?
Doesn't it have laws in it?
It doesn't have laws in it. It determines how laws get written and passed.
Oh.
It determines how laws get written and passed. Anything else? Written and passed. And I'll leave this up so you can come up and copy this. Anything else? Was it the first attempt? Now we're going to watch a few videos right now, and we're going to see a sequential, it's not detailed, but we're going to see the key events that led up to this. Was this the first thing that got written? Does anybody know if the Constitution was the very first try at establishing our government, or was there another try before that? Bryson, what do you think?
I think there's another try.
Do you know what it's called?
I'm not so, but I know something that I was reading a book of Massachusetts.
We're going to look at the Boston Tea Party. The first draft of this, the first go-around, were the Articles of Confederation. So the first time that the Congress came together, that the group of founding fathers came together to determine what direction they were going to take this country in, they started out with the Articles of Confederation. However, after they reviewed it, they decided that it still wasn't clear enough or powerful enough a document to do everything they wanted it to do. So they scrapped that one, and we ended up with the U.S. Constitution. One more. Skylar.
It wasn't something that I was going to put on there, but I didn't hear what you said, but it's going to be on the test.
What, honey?
No, I didn't hear what you said the test was going to be. The test that we're having, I didn't hear what you said.
You're taking notes, and on Thursday we'll have a study review.
Oh.
But it'll be on your notes. It'll be on the KWL chart. It'll be on what you learn, and we're going to have an activity called Mission 3, and this right here will be your test. The answers to Mission 3 and the conversations that we have about Mission 3 will be your test, okay? Do we have anything else that we know about the Constitution? Is it still in effect today?
Yes.
Yes, It is the foundational document of our countries, and it's still in effect today. Is it the same original one, or has it been changed in any way?
I think it's been
Zelia?
changed.
It has been changed. Who knows what those are called?
Amendments.
Amendments have been added to it. As times change, remember this got written in 1787. So that's 20, 30, 40, 240 years old. Is that right? Y'all check my math? Right? 240 years ago. So times have changed tremendously. We've had to change it to adapt. So that's why amendments were added. Let's watch some videos right quick. This is how it started.
Over the horizon, what can it be? The pilgrims sailed the sea to find a place to call their own. In their ship they flower, they hope to find a better home. They finally knocked on Plymouth Rock, and someone said we're there. It may not look like home, but at this point I don't care. Oh, they were missing Mother England. They swore their loyalty until the very end. Anything you say, King, it's okay, King. You know it's kind of scary on your own. Gonna build a new land the way we planned. Could you help us run it till it's grown? They planted corn, you know. They built their houses one by one. And bit by bit they worked until the colonies were done. They looked around, yeah, up and down. And someone said, hooray! If the king could only see us now, he would be proud of us today. They knew that now they'd run their own land. But George III still vowed he'd rule them to the end. Anything I say, do it my way now. Anything I say, do it my way. Don't you get to feeling independent, 'cause I'm gonna force you to obey. He taxed their property, he didn't give them any choice. And back in England, he didn't give them any voice. That's called taxation without representation, and it's not fair. But when the colonies complained, the king said, I don't care. He even has the nerve to tax our cup of tea. To put it kindly, King, we really don't agree. Gonna show you how we feel. We're gonna dump this tea and turn this harbor into the biggest cup of tea in history.
All right. So what happened? The colonists worked really hard. The Pilgrims got here in 1620. In the late 1700s, the king was just taking and taking and taking. The colonists were looking for guidance, but the king, was he offering it? No, he wasn't taking care of them. He was taking everything he could. Came to a point where it got so bad that the king even taxed tea. Now, English people typically, just like Americans drink coffee, the English love their tea. We weren't growing tea here at that time. The only way to get it was to import it. Well, the king said, you know what, if you want tea, you're gonna have to buy it from my company, and you're gonna have to pay taxes on it. At that point, what did the colonists say?
No.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. They were done. And that is what set everything in motion. Okay, that is when the colonists started to organize a revolt. They wanted their independence. After this happened, and a few other incidents with the king and the redcoats, our founding fathers came together and decided to write the Declaration of Independence. They wrote it and signed it, and it said, we want to be our own nation. We don't want to be part of the king's empire anymore. We want to be our own country. And that's what started this nation, and those were our founding fathers that did that. Yes?
Would it be like today if the founding fathers, like those people, didn't decide to write the Declaration of Independence and become the own nation?
That's a good question. What do you think would have happened to this country? Would we be a country?
No.
Do you
A big
think
war.
that we would have stayed with the king? Now, is England's government still like that?
Not really.
It's not anymore.
still have kings and queens.
They have a queen, they have a royal family, but they work with a parliament, and that parliament is the one that makes the laws. Bryson?
One thing is that the Constitution was talking about that no one can have too much power, but the founding fathers had back then they had enough power to get into the law.
They could have. The founding fathers had enough power to take over the country, but is that what the colonists wanted? Another group of people to tell them what to do? No. They wanted to make a republic. What's a republic? It's one of your vocabulary words.
A republic, a form of government in which the people elect representatives to run the country.
That's right. Elected representatives chosen by the people are the ones that run the country. All right. So, mission 3, and this is what your test is going to be on. Describe the events that led up to the creation of the Constitution. There are several events that lead up to the Constitution. To scoot some.
Do I write it? Do I write it? No, notebooks.
What, honey?
No notebooks. Mission 3.
So, one thing that led up to the we're going to talk about this together, and then in your groups, you're going to look this up and get more information for me. The first thing was the Revolutionary War.
Do we write this?
Yes. This is your mission 3, your directions. This should be in your social studies notebook, and we're going to work on it together. The Revolutionary War. What was the Revolutionary War? Who can tell me right quick?
The Revolutionary War was a war that freed us from the
That's right. It was where the colonists revolted against the British and they fought for their independence. So the Revolutionary War. What's another? Sadie.
The Boston Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party, was that before or after the Revolutionary War?
Before.
It was before. Constitution. Describe the events that led up to the creation of the Constitution. So, after the Revolutionary War, we fought, we won, we're on our own. Founding fathers said, okay, we need to establish our government now. So what was the first thing they wrote?
The Declaration of Independence.
That's before.
Oh.
That's before. They wrote the Declaration of Independence, and that's where they came together and decided that they wanted their freedom. First the Declaration of Independence, then the Revolutionary War. We said the Constitution wasn't the first document that got written. What was? Articles? Who remembers?
I know it's something more.
Articles of Confederation. That was the first go-round. The Articles of Confederation got written. So when you're doing your research with your table teams, I want you to find out what went wrong. That's your big question here, your big idea. I want to know why the Articles of Confederation were not what we have right now.
Put 2 DV.
Articles of...
Mission 3 describes the events that led up to the
Okay. Up to the creation of the Constitution. Articles of Confederation. And there's also the Virginia Plan. And this is something you all are going to have to look up in your table teams when you get together. I want to know about the Virginia Plan. So now you're going to get with your table teams and you're going to do this research. Tomorrow, we're going to go over it together. If you do not finish it today, at home, get a device. Finish it at home. Tomorrow morning, if you've not finished it last night, you don't finish it today. If you don't finish it tonight, tomorrow morning before the bell, come in and get a device and finish it so we can go over it tomorrow. Worst case scenario, when we're going over it tomorrow, what do?
Copy it.
Copy it, thank you. You make sure you have it because this is going to be your study guide. Questions?
So we're going to write about each one of those things on the test?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay?
So do we write it on a story?
Right now, you're going to get with your table team Okay?